All right, I'm here. We've got Precision Fuel and Hydration, and Lindsay's going to help explain what is Precision Fuel and Hydration about.
So it's primarily a fuel and hydration business. It's in the name. We sell
No doubt.
fuel and electrolytes, but one of the key things we do is we care about our customers, and so we try to educate our customers how best to use products, not just ours, but we can talk about any products out there to help you hit your racing and training goals.
So you're looking at nutrition for endurance races or anything specific? What intensities?
Yeah, everything. Initially, we started out focusing mostly on pro sport, in team sports, as well as some occupational settings. And then now we're, across all sports, but primarily endurance sport at the moment, triathlon, running, ultra running.
And you can see we're here, ocean out there, Ironman Hawaii's tomorrow.
Yeah.
And how do you help people personalize what their fueling plan should be? How do you figure out sweating, hydration?
Yeah, let's start with hydration maybe. So in terms of the hydration side of things, we measure people's sweat sodium concentration using this device here. We stimulate a sweating response and then collect that sweat on the skin surface.
Hold on, you stimulate the sweat response. That's not hard when we're here in Hawaii. It's hard.
It's not hard out here. We have a little
sweat?
electrical current that passes through the skin surface,
funny.
and that makes us able to test your sweat at rest, which is nice. So we can do it in any environment. It's not just in Hawaii out here. And so we pass that sweat through the analyzer, and we can get a value in millimoles per litre, which we can convert into milligrams per litre, and that helps you personalise your hydration strategy out in the heat.
Okay, so give me an example of how this works, and then what the number would be, and then how do you pick the fueling options for someone based on this?
Yeah, for sure. So I'll show you one of our products here is the pH 1000. So that comes out at 1,000 milligrams per litre of sodium. And so if someone was to have their sweat sodium concentration at or around 1,000 milligrams a litre, this would be the product they'd use in all of their water bottles. And then you can just match what you're losing so you can maintain performance and hydration.
Based on their sweat, how much
Based
they're
on their
sweating.
sweat.
Wow.
So people tend to range from around 200 milligrams per litre, which is quite low, all the way up to just above 2,000 milligrams per litre, which is quite a lot. And those individuals tend to know that they sweat a lot of salt.
Yeah, so those people, I always hear the question, does it mean you're eating too much salt if your clothes are covered in salt, that you shouldn't have salt?
Not really. It's relatively genetically determined, and so you can change it slightly by certain things with heat acclimation or your diet, but these are very small percentage changes. And so you might go from 2,200 milligrams a litre down to 2,100 or something like that. And so that's a change, but it's not really significant enough to alter your strategy most of the time.
Yeah, so genetically, some people sweat more than others. You're saying there's some genetic snips to...
They lose more sodium than others.
More sodium.
Yeah, because their sweat glands have different efficiencies at reclaiming sodium through the lumen of the sweat gland.
And I bet if people have more adrenal gland issues, aldosterone is a hormone that modulates sodium would be off too.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, so there's all of that hormonal stuff that we don't do, but we just measure what happens and we then implement a strategy.
Not the why.
Yeah.
But just what happens. So they sweat, so they get a number from here. So say example is 700?
Not necessarily this number. This might be like 20 or to 90 or 100, and then we convert that into milligrams per litre.
And then you can pick what to get, so you get personalized. So really you're matching the fueling with their sweat rate, or the hydration.
The hydration with their sweating response, yeah. And then the fueling side of things, that comes down to the duration of exercise that you're doing, how big you are to some extent, and how long you're going for.
Okay, so we've got hydration for more of the electrolyte part, what minerals you're sweating, because we say you don't sweat out water, you sweat out minerals.
Exactly.
And having the right minerals to make up for what you lost, because isn't it the sweat rate of what you weigh yourself before and weigh yourself after was the old way?
Yeah, that's the old way.
How much you figure out your sweat based on how much fat.
It's still one of the best ways to do it. There's a lot of different ways to estimate your sweat rate these days, but that's certainly the best method, is weighing yourself before and after exercise. Around 60 to 90 minutes is that golden window of a session that helps inform your sweat loss pattern in certain conditions. And your sweat rate is primarily determined by how fast you're running or cycling. not how fast you're cycling, but how much power you're producing, and then the environmental conditions. So they massively affect things. So someone's sweat rate could be 200 mils an hour in certain environments, and they could also sweat 3 liters an hour in other environments.
So it depends on where you are.
Depends on where you are and what you're doing.
If you're in Kona, if you're in Seattle, Washington.
Exactly.
Okay, and then the fueling part, you guys, how do you figure out how many carbs per hour the person would need?
Yeah, so it's a combination of the exercise intensity that they're doing. So the higher the intensity, the more carbs they generally need, as well as the duration of that exercise as well. So if they're going for more than 3 hours, they'll and at a high intensity, they'll very likely need around 90 or more grams per hour of carbs. And anything less than that, it ranges from 0 to 75 or 90. Depending on the intensity and duration.
Yeah, that's because I always look at matching the intensity with the heart rate, what fuel source you're burning, how much fuel with in a race. But training is different than racing. Because sometimes I hear it's max 60 grams an hour we can tolerate of carbohydrate, but racing more?
It tends to vary. I think it's more like it's related to the total intensity. And so that won't actually change in training and racing depending on how much we can cope with. So we should be able to train with the same amount that we want to race with so that our guts are ready for it. So you don't want to train with 60 and then go straight to 90.
Nothing new race day.
Nothing new on race day, yeah.
Okay, great. And then where can people find this product and learn more?
We're across the world at the moment. Our website, precisionhydration.com, has global stores. We have warehouses in Australia, the US, Europe, and the UK.
And then can I get some of these outfits?
This shirt is on sale in Kona only, unfortunately.
See, got to get a special outfit.
Special outfit in Kona.
Using this fuel.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you.
No worries.